Alright, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for stopping back by. We're here in week 4 of my NASCAR 2000 playthrough. We just got done with Atlanta, I believe, and although the video last week was not the actual race that I ran, I did win and moved up to 7th in the standings. And so let's move on to Texas, and let's talk about last week's, or this past Sunday's real event that happened at Las Vegas. Brad Keselowski won with a last-minute pass on Dale Jr., who ran out of gas. A lot of talk has been made about. Or a lot of discussion has happened about whether or not they would have done that had there have been had the new chase system not been in order, and I'm not real sure they would have. I know for a fact Dale Jr. has said in the past that one of his least favorite things, I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, I'm not exactly quoting him perfectly, but I know that he has said before something to the effect of that one of the things he hates most to happen to him, one of his least favorite results, is to run out of gas. And I know that's pretty much probably the same for everybody. I don't think anyone actively wants to run out of gas, but he said that he hates it. He'd rather finish, 10th or so than run out of fuel at the end of a race. So, of course, then again, most everyone will, as said. So, to that effect, I could understand why people are saying that he and Steve Letarte would not have done what they did under different circumstances without the current chase system, but he's also the same guy that stayed out and tried to win the Coke 600 a couple of years ago on gas. I know he's tried it that team has tried it before. I know he won at Michigan once on fuel. So there's both sides to it. Oops, I didn't realize I needed to push A there.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
There's a lot of sides to that.
The green flag is out and we are underway.
I'm kinda of the belief that I really don't know. I think time will tell as the season goes on, as chase spots start, or as attempts to grab a chase spot begin winding down, as they become less and less frequent and harder to come by. I think we'll see a lot of other teams, a lot of mid-pack type of teams, or good teams who have failed to win a race. We'll try a lot of crazy things, but honestly, I'm a little bit mixed, because I don't want to completely disregard it. I know a lot of people, when you read media is mixed. A lot of popular demand or popular demand. What the heck am I talking about? Basically, everyone seems divided on it. More people are saying that the chase is affecting the way people are driving. And a lot are saying, calm down on that talk. I don't know. I don't know where I stand yet on that. It's because there's a lot of evidence for both sides, and there's a lot of evidence missing for both sides. So it's just kind of, we'll have to see as things go on. As far as the chase system goes, if it does, I think I am on the side that it is changing things. I know I'm talking out both sides of my mouth, and probably a third side that I haven't found yet. I think I am. I do believe that it has changed the way they drive. I think that the win and in system has been pretty good for the finish of these races, because the Las Vegas race was your typical cookie cutter race. up until, you know, that final caution with about 60 to go, or however many laps it was, 50, and everyone kind of made their beds for that final run. But and then the race between, you know, Keselowski and Earnhardt at the end was really good and really tense, because you didn't know if the 88 would make it, if the 2 would just pass him on the track and make it a moot point. And it, you know, I've started off talking about the 88. I need to mention Keselowski. I mean, he has, you know, 3 straight top 3 finishes to start off the year. I mean, 2/3 and a win. That's nothing to sneeze at. The Penske group has their stuff together. I think didn't Logano come back to finish 4th or something like that? I don't remember. But speaking of good finishers, how about Paul Menard? I was calling him. I called him PFM at one point on Twitter. I think you can guess what the F stood for. It wasn't fanatic, but he was expecting his wife was expecting, and he drove the race of his life, and might have had the best car there at the end. He kind of got, I don't want to say abused on that final restart, but he did get kind of used up and shuffled around. He ended up coming back to 3rd. I think he might have had a better car than the 2, and probably the 88, but the 88 had the luxury of being out front and clean air. So, you don't know. I mean, he might have been able to do something with him, but that was still a great run for him. But anyway, I got off on a huge tangent there. Where was I before this? I didn't even notice I'd taken the lead too. I shouldn't have run with them on 9. I mean, I'm running with these guys on total difficulty. That's right. Anyways, but yeah, with the new chase format, I think is working. I'm still not a fan of the chase itself. Like, deciding the chase, I'm kind of coming around to, with the whole wins thing, and then points kind of judging the rest of it. But I'm still not a fan of the chase itself. I'm not sure I like that there are 16 people in it. I think it kind of waters it down. But then again, I mean, pretty much half the teams that make the chase are not real championship contenders anyway every year. So how much it really waters it down is, I guess, up to interpretation. But and I'm not a I don't like the idea of a 4-man shootout to end the year. I don't think it should be that way. I mean, I think you could have done the same exact thing with 12 drivers, eliminating 3 every 3 weeks, and then have a 3-man shootout. I could handle 3 cars, but 4 seems like too many. I know it's a whole 1-car difference, but it would seem a little bit better to me. But I think they should have. I think they could have done the elimination thing and then gotten it down to. They should have done 12 drivers, eliminated 3, or eliminated 4 and 4, and then the final 4 races could be between points or something for the final 3 drivers. I think or for the final 4 drivers. I mean, I think I just confused myself. There's no way y'all could have followed that, but basically have 12 drivers in the chase. After 3 races, eliminate 4. After the 6th race, eliminate 4 more, and then the remaining 4 could battle out over the next 4 races, and the driver with the most points would be the champion. I think that would be a little bit better, a better way to do it, but that's just one opinion. I mean, there's a gazillion others on how to fix it, many of which would say just go back to the old system, which, I don't know. I'm a chase defender. I like the chase more than the old system, but that's just me. I'm by no means in the majority on that one. But oh yeah, they announced earlier this week that they were going to allow teams to cool their engines during qualifying, which is a good thing. I think that's a smart move. They're allowing because the whole driving around like at 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, however slow they were going, that was kind of ridiculous, really, and there were a lot of ways that could have ended poorly. So I'm glad they made that change, and I don't know why I'm driving on the apron, but I was, and I had a good lead going too. I just gave it all away. But yeah, I'm glad they made that change. I like the qualifying. I'll say that I like the qualifying. I mean, it's still qualifying, and I still kind of shrug my shoulders on the actual importance of the whole deal, of the whole improvement, because, I mean, like I've said before, that was kind of low on my, on what I felt like was important to the sport, to changing the sport, to improving the sport. They still need to get the competition figured out, and I don't know if there's a lot of places where you can't, and you know, it's not as bad. I personally don't think it's as bad as a lot of other people do. It's not very good in the Nationwide Series, that's for sure, because you have guys like Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski, and well, actually those are pretty much the only two now that are racing every single week, and it's, golly. I mean, a lot of people like to bring up Mark Martin and stuff in their defense of those guys running every nationwide race, and you know what? Yeah, he did dominate, and he did get into Roush equipment every time that he did, but he still only drove like 12 races a year, like 12 to 15. I mean, he wasn't out there every single week. Like, I mean, he wasn't like basically a third, or not a third. He basically wasn't another full-time team out there. He was a part-time guy who would show up, you know, once every 2 or 3 weeks and light everybody up. But you have guys like Keselowski, and you have Kyle Busch out there in Penske and JGR equipment. You know, the best stuff that's out there right now in the Nationwide Series, and they smoke everybody because they're two of the best drivers in the field, and they're two of the best cars, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, it kills the races, and I know the sponsors like being on their vehicles, but I mean, man, they do need to do something, and I think they're going to go toward a limit on how many races they run, which I was kind of, sort of not against that, but now the way things are, I think they need to change that, and I am not going to let Terry Labonte win. Yes, I had to get a little dirty there.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Sorry, Terry. All right, then. How about that? Another win for good old Davey Allison. But yeah, I mean, and even then, I mean, I wouldn't even mind so much if they would just run in their own stuff. Does Brad Keselowski even have a win in his own stuff in the Truck Series? I don't know. He might. I'll need to look that up, or someone else could look that up. But I know he doesn't have that great of stats. And then, of course, you know, the year Kyle Busch ran his own stuff in the Nationwide Series, he went winless. So, I mean, I wouldn't even mind if they ran their own stuff, kind of like, I don't know, like what, I want to say what Earnhardt and some of those guys who get in JR Motorsport stuff, but that's almost Hendrick stuff under another name. So I don't know if that's the greatest example, but it's the only one I can think of at the moment. So take that for what you will. But anyways, all right. Well, that's another race under the belt. Ooh, Bristol's up next. I'm up to 5th in points. I can sniff Mark Martin now. So, sniff. Ugh. That kind of sounded weird, didn't it? All right then. Well, until next time, folks. I will catch you on the flip side. Hey, that's actually kind of Bristol, and we'll be racing at Bristol for Bristol Week. What do you know? Alright, I'll shut up now. Catch you on the flip side. J-Mac out.